Airplane freighters can come in different designs. There is the Antonov Tu-25, the Behemoth Monster plane, which is the largest airplane in the world. There is also the Antonov AN-22, the world's largest turboprop freighter. These freighters have a normal-looking design, but other freighter airplanes like the Airbus Beluga and the Boeing Dreamlifters have very odd-looking designs. Now, the role these airplanes play can very easily explain why they have such designs, and since the inception, the planes have become very important to Airbus and Boeing. So, why were these planes built and what role do they play? Let's find out. Some aerospace companies like Airbus were formed through a collaboration of different aerospace companies in different countries. The aerospace companies involved were the British, French, German, and Spanish aerospace companies. Each company was tasked with making different airplane components, and these parts will later on be shipped to Toulouse in France, where they will be joined together. Airplanes are normally made in sections, and these sections will later on be joined together to form an airplane. For example, with the Airbus A320, the forward fuselage is made in France, the wings are made in England, the aft fuselage is made in Germany, and the horizontal and vertical tailplanes are made in Spain and Germany respectively. All these components, after being made, they'll be shipped to the Airbus factory in Toulouse to be joined together. In the 1970s, when Airbus had started, parts from these different locations had to be transported to Toulouse through road. Later on, as Airbus began to expand, they began using air to transport these components. The first freighter airplanes which they used consisted of 4 highly modified Boeing Stratocruisers, which Airbus bought from Boeing and converted them to freighters. The new planes earned the nickname Super Guppies. However, with time, these planes began getting old and inefficient, and also, the planes were not big enough to transport huge parts like the wings of the Airbus A340, and therefore, Airbus had to look for suitable airplanes to serve as a replacement for these old planes. Several airplanes like the Antonov Tu-25, the Antonov AN-24, the Illusion 86, and the Boeing 747 among others were considered, but eventually Airbus settled on developing a freighter airplane based on their twin-engine Airbus A300-600 instead. In order to make the plane, the top half of the fuselage of the A300 was cut and a bulging upper section was mounted. What resulted was the Beluga A300-600 Super Transporter. Before fuselage sections can be loaded into the plane's belly, a swinging hinge door first opens upwards and the fuselage section or wing can then be loaded into the plane's belly. The parts will later on be transported to Toulouse for final assembly. However, the plane has a limitation in that it cannot be able to transport a pair of large wings like those of the Airbus A330 and the Airbus A350. Instead, the plane has to transport one wing at a time. That limitation, coupled with the fact that the old Beluga ST planes will also need to be replaced, it made Airbus begin the development of the larger Beluga itself, which will be based on the Airbus A330-200 variant. The plane is 7 meters longer and 1 meter wider than the Beluga ST, which makes the new plane be able to easily carry 2 A350 wings at a go. The Beluga XL made its first flight in July 2018 and it began operations in 2019. The Beluga fleet is used to transport sections of the Airbus A320, A330 and the Airbus A350. The fuselage sections and wings of the Airbus A380 were too big to fit on the Beluga, and Airbus had to use road and water to transport various parts of the plane to Toulouse for final assembly. However, the final A380 was already assembled and it made its first flight on March 17 this year, and the plane will later on be delivered to Emirates in 2022. Now, let's move on to the Boeing Dreamlifter. Its story is rather simple because its development was triggered mainly because of the introduction of the Boeing 787. When Boeing launched the Boeing 787 program in 2003, they faced a similar problem to that which Airbus faced with their Super Guppy planes. Most of the planes in existence at the time were not big enough to transport sections of the 787, and road and water forms of transport couldn't be used because they would take a lot of time. The main reason as to why Boeing faced these problems was because a majority of their suppliers and contractors were not located in the US but were located in Japan and Italy instead. Because of these issues, Boeing began a large cargo freighter conversion program, and 4 Boeing 747s were purchased from Air China, China Airlines and Malaysian Airlines respectively. the planes underwent modifications and a bulging upper fuselage, just like that of the Super Agapis and the Beluga airplanes, was mounted. The planes entered service in 2007 and they had a task of transporting 787 parts from Japan to South Carolina and Washington in the US for final assembly. Initially, these planes were named the Large Cargo Freighters, but in 2006, Boeing renamed them the Dreamlifters as a reference to the 787's name. Currently, there are 4 Boeing Dreamlifters in operation. Between the Beluga and the Dreamlifter, which one do you like more? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. As always, thank you very much for watching the video, and in case you're new here, my name is Martin and welcome to the Skyline. Please subscribe for more great aviation content coming soon, and otherwise, thank you very much for your time and have a nice time ahead, and please take care. Goodbye.